What's up guys, this is Miasin. So I don't know if you're already familiar with what the Primite engine does, but it's really good in decks that can play normal monsters, especially in the Rika deck because it obviously plays Sunseed, the Genus Loka or something. But in any other deck it can still make sense, like even in Raziel for example, in the OCG we started seeing some decks that are playing a very small engine with like 2 Megalo Smasher X, so that using one continuous spell they can go into either Evilsword Dolka or Lagia, or they could also play 2 Evilswarm Heliotrope and then go into Evilswarm Ophion. So yeah, very good splashable engine, but I think that with the new support of Supreme Darkness, which is what I'm currently hovering over, the Primite Another Barrel, this card is so incredibly good that it might even turn the engine into something closer to a deck. So if you play some other engines in this deck, it actually will make sense, and it's just a bunch of one-card starters. It's really fun, and it's also not the kind of thing that ever really existed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you're playing normal monsters in a deck that doesn't really usually play normal monsters. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely going to make sense when you're going to see it. So yeah, super cool deck, and it has a lot of potential. I'm really looking forward to getting Primite Another Barrel in the TCG. Anyways, before we go any further with these combos, you already know the drill. Smash the like and subscribe button. And again, if this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a full spreadsheet on this deck. It's better than Dragon Link. You're gonna love it. If you like dragon cards, then this is the perfect deck for you. Alright, so combo number 1, I have Primite Roar as well as the Another Barrel. So this card on summon, it gets to set any Primite spell or trap from your deck to your field. And then on the field, you can tribute it and then foolish any normal monster from your deck to the grave. And finally, on your standby phase, if this card is in your grave and you control a normal monster, or it has, or you have a normal monster in your grave, you can recycle it back from the graveyard to the hand. So yeah, 3 different effects. All of them are fantastic. But yeah, we're gonna be going with the Primite Roar first, so that's kind of like an unexpected die. Pay 2k, summon Blue Eyes. And even the graveyard effect is very relevant. If your opponent normal summons a monster, you can banish it from the grave and then target one normal monster in your you control in your grave. Banish one monster on the field with less attack than that monster. So yeah, it's a non-targeting, non-destructive removal, and it's just free real estate because you get that interruption while also special summoning Blue Eyes in the process. But yeah, normal summon your Another Barrel, set your Lordly Load, which will be searching the Drill Beam. Drill Beam, you can negate a face-up card on the field and then banish it. Not really like a Solomon Judgment, it's hard to explain, but the card's insane. It's really good. And we're going to be using the other effect of Lordly Load, so special summon another normal monster and then go into Hieratic Seal. So that's 4 summons, and it does a huge amount of interruptions with a very, very good follow-up because we have the Roar, so when our opponent normal summons a monster, banish any monster with less than 3,300 attack, and then the Hieratic Seal can bounce back a card your opponent controls. And at this point, you could even summon like Wakimero Drago or Grantos Dragon. That would work really well because we can even protect our 0/0 monsters with the Drill Beam. So our opponent summons another monster, negate, banish, etc. A lot of pressure off of 2 cards. So far, that's already 2 interruptions, and then we also have the Drill Beam, of course, which can negate and banish. So yeah, that could have been 4 interruptions, and like I said, a very, very good follow-up. But now that we went into Magna mode, the follow-up is going to be even nastier because this can Surge the Lubellion. And then on our standby phase, the Another Barrel gets recycled back since we have a normal monster on your field or in your graveyard. You're getting a lot of card advantage, and you still have that Lordly Load, so every single turn you go effect, special summon Blue Eyes over and over and over, and you will eventually destroy your opponent at the speed of light. Okay, so in this situation, my hand is very interesting. I have Schwarzschild, Infinity Dragon, as well as Primite Roar. So both of them are kind of like unexpected die / Photon Thrasher. Primite Roar, it only special summons a monster if I control no monsters on my field, and Schwarzschild Dragon can only be used if I control no monsters. So at this point, you might want to believe that they conflict with each other and you can't use both at the same time. Well, not really, because Primite Roar is a quick play spell. Also, the activation requirement for Schwarzschild Dragon is that we control no monsters, but for Primite Roar, it's not really an activation requirement. It's just on the resolution, if you control no monsters, then you special summon a Primite monster, well, declare normal monster from your deck to your field. So in other words, even if you draw both Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon and Primite Roar, it doesn't clash. It's not like drawing like 2 Cyber Dragon or 2 Photon Thrasher, for example. But yeah, first things first, activate the Schwarzschild and then chain the Primite Roar so that we summon the Blue Eyes, and then the Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon still resolves. You don't have to no longer control a monster on the resolution. Like I said, that's just an activation requirement. So yeah, summon it and Blue Eyes go into Dragluxion, which is also coming out in Supreme Darkness, I believe. Or maybe the set that has the 7 Tachyon and stuff like that. But yeah, search the Tachyon, Galaxy S Tachyon Primal, search the 7 Tachyon there, and then overlay into Hieratic Sky Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. It's not really an interruption, but it prevents like your opponent from targeting your things. It's not like that bad, but there's no other Dragon Xyz that you can summon. They're not the best cards out there. But yeah, 7 Tachyon is going to be revealing Giant Hand, so you can search a level 4 Earth monster from your deck to the field, and that is going to be the Another Barrel, and then we can normal summon that. And on the summon, this is going to be setting your Lordly Load, which you can flip, and then you can search for the Drill Beam, and then overlay for Harbinger, and then that is going to be summoning yet another normal monster. And then we set the Drill Beam, and that's like 4 interruptions again. So with Drill Beam, we can negate and banish something. The Harbinger can negate a spell card, and then we also have the Roar in the graveyard, and this can protect things from being targeted. And we have a lot of recursion, of course, thanks to Another Barrel, the special summon from Lordly Load, etc. Okay, so in this situation, I have a completely random hand. I Primite Roar with the Another Barrel, Lubellion, Ghost Ogre, and Ash. Let's try to see just how broken this hand really is. So yeah, Lubellion first search the Magnemite. I love doing this. And then Roar is going to be special summoning what? It is going to be summoning Dragon Core Hexer in this situation because it is a dark monster, so you can actually send it for Lubellion. So I recommend playing 1 Blue Eyes, 1 Dragon Core Hexer if you want this to work. And also Dragon Core Hexer is a tuner monster, so you can use it for, let's say, something like Centurion Legatia, and then you can draw a card, destroy a monster, etc. But yeah, that places the regain, and then Magnebo to banish the Hexer, and then Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, so end phase search, and also put it back on the bottom, draw 1 card. Normal summon the Another Barrel, and that is going to be setting the Lordly Load, and then overlay, well, link off into Heretic Seal, flip the Lordly Load, search the Drill Beam, and then we're going to be special summoning back the Dragon Core Hexer, overlay for Harbinger, set 2 pass, and phase search the Baldric. That is like infinite interruptions. So I think this is like 7-8 interruptions because you have a bounce off of Heretic Seal, you have a negate off of Harbinger, and then we've got the Drill Beam that can negate and banish something because we're going to be special summoning a Blue Eyes monster off of the Drill Beam, and then the regain obviously revives back the Magnemite and phase search, special summon Baldric, banish something, and then Baldric effect tribute and banish something, and then we have every single other hand trap, and we're also drawing cards in the process off of a regained every single time. This deck is just gas for days, like I said, and also a lot of recursion, because the Drill Beam itself also recurs itself back when we control a Primate monster, and then the Another Barrel is going to be recycling itself back. So every single turn, you always replenish all of your interruptions back. Alrighty, so for the deck profile, very simple. Again, just trying to make it so that even someone who doesn't really understand much about the deck can understand this deck at the very least. So 3 Swords Child Infinity Dragon, at this point you should know what it does. If you control no monsters or your opponent controls a monster with 2k or more attack, you can special summon it from your hand, and if you do special summon 1 level 8 light or dark dragon monster from your deck, but negate its effects, obviously if you're summoning Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dragon Core Hexer, this is irrelevant, and these are your 3 targets. So you got nothing else that you can summon. This is not really a Galaxy deck, it's more like a Tachyon, Primite, Bystial deck. Hard to explain, but basically it's Dragon Turbo, there is no other way to put it. So yeah, very good card, but it does lock you under only being able to summon Dragon Xyz monsters from the extra deck during the turn you activate this effect. So no Heretic Seal and no Photon Lord and stuff like that. 3-7 Tachyon, this card is searchable in this deck. You can search it off of Galaxy Ice Tachyon Primal. And it can also search your Swords Child Infinity Dragon or your Primate Another Barrel. So in other words, off of the Swords Child, you can get Tachyon Primal, which gets you to 7 Tachyon. And 7 Tachyon reveals Giant Hand in order to search Primate Another Barrel, and then you bridge into your Primate engine. Speaking of which, 3 Primate Another Barrel, 3 Lordly Load, which are the main Primate starters, and then the Roar is not really a starter, but it summons 1 normal monster from your deck, so it's not too bad. If you have this and like anything else usually, you can at least make like a rank 8 or something, so it's still really good. And then we also play, of course, the Bystial engine, so 3 Lubellion on the regain, 1 Magnemite, 1 Baldric, 1 Jwizzworm. They're hand traps, and they're also gas, so why not? A lot of hand traps, by the way. 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, 3 Ogre, 2 Mourner. So that's what, 17 hand traps? Yeah, that's a lot. 17 hand traps and 40 cards. Almost everything in this deck is gas, like it's just a bunch of starters on their own. So yeah, it's a very clean deck and very enjoyable to play as well. Really, really recommend. And there's also a lot of nice engines that you can play in it too. You can play the Metal Morph engine if you want to. I think that's very respectable. If you want to cut maybe 3 Lubellion and the regain, play 3 copies of Full Metal and 1 Max Metal Morph. That could also be logical. But yeah, there's a lot of possible ways to make it work. And then for the extra deck, the Zeus, the Typhon, Giant Hand, Galaxy Ice Tachyon Dragon, Dragluxion, and Indigo Ice Silver Dragon. This one rarely comes up, actually. If anything, it might almost never come up going first, but going second, it's not too bad. It's like a Dark Ruler on summon, and it also revives back a normal monster in your grave or banished. So the fact that even if your normal monsters get banished, you can still recur them back, that's not too bad. And that's 4k attack. It's a lot of damage from 1 single monster. Draglubion for the 1-punch OTK with Nearmount Dragon. Harbinger, obviously one of the best ones out there. Dingirsu, Galaxy Ice Photon Lord, Nemeron Dragon, SP, Link Spider, so that you can turn your Blue Eyes into, well, at least put them in the grave, and then you can start banishing them for your Bystials. Blue Eyes or Dragon Core Hexer, and then finally Hieratic Seal and Centron Legatia that you can make with Dragon Core Hexer and your Primite Another Barrel. For the idea section, this deck can absolutely play Dimension Shifter because you can just one card OTK your opponent, so it's fine. If your opponent passes turn, then you just kill right away. The Metalmorph engine, like I said. Primite Imperial Dragon, I don't really recommend that one because it's not great if your opponent doesn't play the same attributes as the monsters that you're playing, but it could be a solid side deck card, I guess. Saga of the Blue-Eyed Dragon is actually not bad at all. Great card overall, and you can also play like a bigger Blue Eyes engine if you really want to. Anyways, Primate Howl, the trap card, that one's not really good. I really don't recommend it, and it's also very slow. Max Metalmorph, like I said. Skill Drain, not too bad. Rivalry, you only play really dragons for the most part. Tachyon Transmigration, another reason why Galaxy S Tachyon is needed. But Galaxy S Tachyon, I don't really have to explain why you're playing it. It's a reveal fodder for 7 Tachyon. And then finally, Primite Resounding Reaction, which is not very good. I think Drill Beam is still much better. Because yes, Drill Beam is kind of like a solemn judgment, and this is kind of like a solemn warning. I've seen better. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know how you feel about the Primite engine overall in the comment section below. I really want to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.